On March 16, 1967, deep in the frozen plains of Montana, one of the most disturbing events in American military history took place. 10 nuclear missiles, the most secure and protected weapons on Earth, suddenly went offline. There was no saboteur, no power failure, no system malfunction. Seconds before the shutdown, Air Force security personnel reported a glowing, disc-shaped craft hovering silently over the missile silos. For years, the story was dismissed, until the Air Force's own documents were declassified. The event began inside the underground launch control center, responsible for Echo Flight, a cluster of 10 Minuteman ICBMs. At 8:45 a.m., 2 missile crew officers, Lieutenant Robert Salas and Captain Fred Mywald, were conducting routine operations when alarms erupted across the control panels. One by one, all 10 missiles flipped into no-go status. Each missile had its own independent system and redundant safeguards. A simultaneous failure was considered impossible. As the officers scrambled to diagnose the unexpected shutdown, an urgent call came in from the surface. The voice on the line was tense. "Sir, we have a situation. There's a large glowing object hovering over Launch Facility Echo 2. At first, Salas believed it was a joke, but the guard insisted the craft was real. A 30-foot disc emitting a red-orange glow, completely silent, moving with controlled, deliberate actions. Moments later, another guard confirmed sightings at multiple silos. Only after these UFO reports did the missiles fail. When elite maintenance teams were dispatched after the craft left, they found no physical damage or malfunction. No blown circuits, no environmental anomalies. All systems tested perfectly normal. In the official report, engineers wrote, "No technical malfunction could be identified, no known cause." Another note stated, "Electromagnetic pulse considered but ruled out." Nothing the Air Force understood could explain the sudden shutdown. A formal investigation followed, and hidden in the declassified communications logs was a startling entry. UFO sightings reported during the same time period as the incident. Security guards consistently described a disc-shaped or oval glowing craft hovering over the silos, emitting a fiery red light, moving in ways no aircraft could replicate. The shutdown had lasted several hours before the missiles were restored. In their final summary, investigators concluded, "The cause of the incident is not understood. No further action deemed necessary." That statement remains perhaps the most unsettling of all. 10 days later, at Oscar Flight, another missile group experienced a similar shutdown. Security once again reported glowing objects hovering over silos. Once again, missiles failed with no detectable malfunction. The Air Force had no explanation. Behind closed doors, several officers privately suspected an intelligence, unknown, advanced, and technologically superior, had interacted with the nuclear systems. For decades, the incident remained buried until Lieutenant Salas broke his silence in the 1990s. Under oath, he stated, "The missiles did not malfunction. They were shut down by an external force, and the presence of the UFO was confirmed by men I trusted." Salas described how Air Force officials ordered personnel to remain silent. Reports were collected, documents removed, and witnesses instructed never to speak about the event. When portions of the files were declassified, key details matched Salas's testimony. Years later, multiple Air Force officers testified before Congress, describing similar encounters at missile bases across the country. Their message was consistent. UFOs have repeatedly appeared near U.S. nuclear facilities, interfered with weapons systems, and demonstrated capabilities beyond any known technology. Researcher Robert Hastings interviewed over 150 former Air Force personnel. Many described glowing craft hovering above silos, electronics failing, and missiles going offline without explanation. The question remains, what kind of technology could disable hardened nuclear missile systems? These systems are shielded against electromagnetic pulse, radio interference, and physical shock, designed to survive nuclear conflict. Yet something, during these UFO sightings, bypassed all protections effortlessly. Experts propose advanced directed energy, manipulation of electromagnetic fields, or an intelligence probing U.S. nuclear readiness. Others believe it may have been a warning. the Malmstrom incident stands today as one of the strongest cases of UFO interference with nuclear weapons. Multiple witnesses, declassified documents, and repeated similar events strengthen its credibility. To this day, the Air Force offers no satisfying explanation. Whatever hovered above those missile silos in 1967 demonstrated absolute control over the most dangerous weapons ever created. Whether it was a test, a message, or simple observation, one truth remains. The intelligence behind the Malmstrom incident possessed capabilities far beyond anything we had, and still have, today.